Golpeo el filo arrasador. No sé qué pasa si pongo todo junto. 5 encantamientos. Bien. Golpeo 5, filo arrasador 3, empuje 2, prosperidad 3, reparación. Y la espadita. ¿Qué más? Esto que tengo acá. No sé si toda la maldición del puedo.
A ver si me escucha bien. A ver.
5 encantamientos. Bien. Golpeo 5, filo arrasador 3, empuje 2, prosperidad 3, reparación. Y la espadita. ¿Qué más? Esto que tengo acá. No sé si toda la maldición del puedo.
No sé si me escucha bien. A ver. Bueno, sí. Voy a cerrar esto. Voy a poner un poco más de ganancia. 11.
Ah, me falta botín a este. Se consigue.
Vale, ya voy a poner esto. A ver, tengo mucha basura por aquí abierta. Esto me voy a poner a FK en una granja.
¿Cuál?
Nada, papel.
¿Necesitas ponerte FK en el papel?
¿Lo qué?
¿La granja de papel necesita estar en FK?
No, pero es que no voy a estar jugando Minecraft, voy a estar programando el plugin y mientras me quedo FK. Esto que... Vale, voy a bajar un poco el volumen al escritorio. Vale, tengo que abrir. Bueno, voy a quitar el volumen. Voy a poner FK. Voy a abrir otro Minecraft para entrar en mi server. Y voy a abrir la ID.
Está al lado del spawn. Ahí al frente tuyo.
Vale, es este.
A ver, esmeraldas. Tiene acá.
Ahorita puedo entrar a ese server. Es que solo lo abro y lo cierro cuando... Además, mira aquí, o sea... Está cerrado. Solo lo abro y lo cierro cuando tengo que probar el plugin. Pero... Bueno, por estar creo que está abierto. O sea, porque es... Creo que tengo los puertos abiertos. Es esta la IP. Es mi IP pública. Pero creo... Deberían estar abiertos los puertos. O sea, los puertos no, el puerto. Pero bueno, eso, si la quieres... Ahí está. Pero vamos, que está cerrado. Vale, bueno, voy a...
¿Cuándo vuelve Paps?
A ver... Bueno, voy a seguir los tutoriales estos porque es que si no, no me entero de nada.
Having the plugin with the IDE is really helpful. So because you have to extend Java plugin whenever you're making a Java plugin in your main class or whatever, and then you have to have these two methods here. You don't have to have this one, but you have to have this one, I believe. So here are the two, they're methods, right? These are methods. Hopefully you know what method is, and they are triggered whenever your plugin starts up. As that's why it's called on enable. And when it shuts these options, yeah, they also have is in here. It puts it here whenever, and then find Maven project. So click that. We're gonna make this a little smaller. So we'll go to lifecycle here. Then we'll go, yeah, open lifecycle, and then right-click package, and then click.
Me he perdido ya, ¿ves?
Then we have the package, the author, and the plugin name. So that's all good to go. Two windows.
Vale, tengo que pasar esto para allá, así que... ¿por qué mierda esto? Ahí. Voy a coger esto.
No tiene acá. Bueno,
Y lo voy a poner aquí. Y esto. Y lo voy a poner aquí. Vale.
And then find main project. But don't worry about that yet, that's later on. So from there, we're actually good to go. So what we're going to do is go to view.
What?
El policía soñó. Está tirando.
Ay. Muy bien, ya me da un error.
salud.
Gracias.
De nada.
Quiero operar a alguien.
Ah,
El nombre
vale.
del médico de...
Está bien. Dios, no me... Ahora. En un momento le voy a contestar a este. Antes de nada. Que no puedo comprar el VIP.
Ahora se me están faltando.
Yes, mute, Windows, Maven.
Two windows. Oops.
Ya donde
And
estoy.
then find Maven project.
Ya
Like that.
donde
We're
estoy.
going to make this a little smaller. So we'll go to life cycle here. Then we'll go open life cycle. And then right click package and click run.
Grito se vetó lo ves no de imagen. Esto se coño. ¿Así? Bueno.
Ahora me levanto.
Vale, ya sé. Terminó.
So now it'll just compile our package or whatever it needs to do and load it up and create our plugin for us. So now it's done. So we can open this up here, the target. This is where our plugin is outputted here. So this is our plugin right here. I'm not sure what this one does, but this is our official plugin. So right click this and then open Show and Explorer. So this will open our file explorer here, and then we can access it and move it to wherever we want to have it. So I'm just going to copy it, Control C, and then we're going to go to my test server here. If you don't know how to make a test server, just watch my other video. The link will be in the description, and it'll show you how to make a Minecraft server. So where I have my test server is right here. So we're going to go to plugins, and we're going to get rid of these old plugins. I don't exactly need them right now. Actually, we'll keep Trashy Can because I'm working on that. And so just paste this in here. You don't have all these probably because you don't have any other plugins, assuming you don't. And so here's our plugin now. It's in the server, so we can start up our server here. And as
Vale, o sea, tengo que... Debería estar aquí. Es el explorador. Lo voy a copiar y me lo llevo al servidor de pruebas. Esto lo puedo borrar. Y ahora, si abro el server, debería de aparecer por aquí. Cuando lo abra. Ahí está, plugin is enabled. Y si salgo, plugin is disabled. Vale. Coño. Vale. Uy.
Salud.
Gracias. Esto lo puedo cerrar. Esto lo puedo minimizar.
Well, hoping that it worked. Actually works. That's our first plugin. It's so simple, but it's really cool. And yeah, so let's run it again and let's get on the server. Sorry, my little brother, he's on the And yeah, so now we're on the server. Pretty cool. So I'll load up stuff, do .pl. It'll show all the plugins that we have, and it shows our first plugin. So that's awesome because now.
Vale. Joder, buscar el intro.
Hey, what's up, guys? Back again with another video. This time I'll be showing you how to make events in your
Protección.
Minecraft plugins. So
Paso al lado
okay,
no.
let's set up our SDK 1.8,
O el boss.
and we're gonna auto. Oh, okay, so let's say we want to
Fortuna
make an event
3.
here. We have to have this up here.
Ahora
Right?
no
You have to have parameters, and the parameter will be the actual event that's within bucket or spaghetti. Here is the code that will
Si
be
estos se
run once the
corrieran.
event is triggered. So it was event.getPlayer. So just one message. So send message, and it's new. Oh no, it won't be this. It won't be new.
Tu YouTube, la mierda.
Plugin, it'll be this because it's inside the plugin. This is just, it's always gonna be this, okay? But this one, this depends if you're doing it outside of this class, like we talked about before, or within this class. If it's within this class, it'll just be this because this is referencing this basically. It's just regular English. That's what it means. So it's inside of it, so you'll have this on both. So anyway, so now what I did, it references the event that we made and added it to here. And since we'll have all our events in this class, we only have to have this once. But let's say we have multiple events in different classes, we have to register a new one of these every time, basically. So I know that can be a little frustrating and confusing. You know, I'm talking too fast or something, but I'll show you. So don't worry. So once we have this all registered and everything, we have our event created, we're good to go. So let's check our plugin.yml, make sure we're all good here. Yeah, looks good. So now we're gonna open up our Maven. So View, Tool, Windows, and then Maven Projects. Then I'll make this a little smaller. Lifecycle, and then right-click Package for a message that we chose. So that's up the same way. You can get the player, the event effecting, and then send a message, whatever you want to do. So now you know how to make events, and you can register the events, and you can know how to send player messages. So that's really cool. So yeah, so let's go ahead and get rid of this. And actually, no, we're gonna create one more event, so we can just get a little practice here. So event handler. So public void on kill mob. I think that's one player.
Preparación.
Kill player mob. I don't know. There's so many things. How about this? Player shear entity event. So on shear sheep. So I think you can only shear sheep anyway, right? I guess. Oh, we have to set the parameter name, of course, so event. And so now we can do some stuff.
Hola, Agustín. ¿Tú me suena que me dijiste que eras otra persona?
So let's do event.
No me acuerdo sinceramente.
We can get the entity it's affecting, right? We can set it to canceled, set it like true. So we're gonna go ahead and do this one. Oops. Oh, that's just asking if it's canceled, so we can do set canceled. True. So what this will do is every time the event is triggered, it'll just cancel the event. So dot, and then you have the colors. So aqua, all these colors. The views would be nice, but to help yourself save snippets of code so then you can know there. And let's see if our bed event still works. So time set night. Don't get in bed. Take a short little nap, and then we'll wake up. And it should say the same message. You left your bed. That's pretty cool. Oh, here's a sheep. Good. So we'll say see ourselves shear. And we're gonna shear the crap out of the sheep. So, oop, nice try. So we can't even do it, right? Because we canceled it, and then we said.
Eres mano.
Just send a message. Nice try.
No, esto que estoy haciendo es para...
And green. So
Estoy intentando hacer un plugin de... para despawnearmos.
So that's cool. We can do that now. So we know how to make events basically. It's pretty simple. All you gotta do is create the event, register it, and then you can do whatever you want.
Pero claro, es que nunca programé ningún plugin.
And, yeah, so now let's create events in different classes, so we'll have some structure, right? So let's go back to our little project here. We'll get rid of this, we don't need this. And then we're gonna create a new class here, and we're gonna call it, a new package right here, and then we'll call it events. And don't get confused, this is a package, this is a class, and our project just happens to be named events also. But anyway, so in here, we'll create a new class, and this will be our event. So let's call this one, on death, or something like that. Actually classes are separate them. Okay, and then now we can start messing around with an event. So this class will be our on death event, so every time a player dies, this will be triggered. So we're gonna have to implement list, of course. Death event, awesome. And we're gonna use E because that's just E.get. Can we not get the player for this one? That's weird. We can get the death message, we can get the entity, get entity, that's the same thing. So how do I know it's the same thing? If we do dot again, right by the get entity method, it says it's a player. That's the variable type basically, or object type. I don't know the difference, I forgot. But anyway, so we know it's a player, so it's gonna give us the same thing that we want. So player.sendMessage, and then we'd say
Eso es súper complicado.
and then we'll do
A ver, a mí es que me gusta programar, o sea que...
KST, regular player, and then we'll have
Obviamente, si no, no lo estaría haciendo.
equal to true, so maybe the player will start to fly, I don't know.
Pero...
And yeah, so let's test that out, see if it works. But first, we have to register the event, of course, so let's go
Bueno.
make a main method here. And so we'll register it.
¿Qué?
And so get server
¿Qué
dot get
puedo
plugin
hacer
manager
de
dot register events. And so for the first one, we have to register the class that we had here. So how do you
¿Lo qué?
¿Qué puedo hacer de miniatura?
Tú sabrás. Si quieres que te... ¿Quieres que te pase el logo del server o algo de esto que tengo?
No, ya lo tengo ya.
do that, we'll do new
A ver, son dos
on F and
eventos.
this
¿Cómo
tab
puedo?
and then this. And now they're both registered. So
Creo que ya sé cómo es. Creo. Se me viene ahorita, está
it's
flashando
pretty
mi
easy.
mente.
Just new and the class name, and then you'll have this for this one every time.
Ah,
And
que
there
estás
we go.
en
So now
directo
it's registered. So let's
ahorita.
go ahead and
Me llegó una
now it's
notificación.
Yo sí. Ahorita no me pude conectar al servidor. Porque estuvo abierto 3 segundos.
server this is done. I'll be right back. Okay, so now we're in the server. So
El
let's go
rifa.
ahead and die. So we'll do game mode 1.
Yo soy Wesley.
Ay,
Editando el
Dios,
video.
el volumen.
¿Qué?
Bueno, solo son 62 vídeos.
Editando el
Yo
video.
tengo...
Ay, Dios. Pirito, ya me puedo ir a comer.
No, no puedes.
Ay.
Hasta que no subas el vídeo y no tenga 200 visitas, no te vas.
Me cago en la puta.
Ah, sí te escucho bien.
Me
Me
quiero ir a
quedo-
comer. Me
And
quiero
later
ir a
on, once we learn
comer.
how to do configuration, we'll edit the plugin and then make it editable in the config. So they can
Joder, ¿por qué YouTube me pone la calidad en
Anyway, so-
480?
Yeah, I think I set enough. So let's go ahead and get started. So
Hola.
check that. Then we gotta give it a name down here for artifact ID, of course. Author, this plugin. So here's our project structure, right? And last episode we learned how to make a different a package. Package will have implements a listener.
Quiero botín
Player,
3.
player.
Sheriff, título del video, 2 eventos en un mismo día. Eso es un poco a copy-paste de un servidor que no voy a decir,
We do implements a listener. Okay, there we go. Looks good to me. Oops. Got it. Ooh, what the heck?
Oh,
Okay, right.
recuperando mi rango y 15.
There you go.
No, en la
So,
descripción
so
voy
now
a
we're ready to go.
poner
We
eso.
can start the
Gracias.
event handler here, and now we have to make
A ver,
a
la
method
miniatura
for,
ya sé, pero
it's called
el
listener
título.
or event, whatever. Same thing. So we'll do on
2 en
player
1.
join.
¿Cómo?
Revivo mi canal de YouTube. No te creerás lo que sucede.
Revivo mi
So now,
canal de
inside of that,
YouTube.
we gotta call or give it a parameter, right?
Termina
Parameter
bien.
has to be the event, of course. So player join event right there. So let's go, and then we'll give it a thing.
Ay,
You can
¿cómo
use event,
puedo
you can use
poner?
whatever you want. That'll just so
A
what
ver,
do we
son
want to
2
say? Let's think
eventos.
for it first. We'll say welcome back to the server, and then our name.
2 en 1, ¿cómo le pongo?
Add a join message every time. We'll say welcome back to the
El
server.
día de los eventos.
Chat color dot animation.
Ya sé cómo. Creo que
Join.
sé cómo
There we go, so
ponerlo.
add that. That's a new class, right? We got implements listener, and we're just gonna copy this one because programmers are lazy. Yes, I am. Endpoint. Okay.
Uf,
Import everything. Here. Take.
está renderizando aquí. Lleva más de 4 horas renderizando. Muévete ya.
So let's go to move into our test server here. Plugin.
Ya acaba. Dale,
So the
dale
other players
si
will see it
puedes.
first, you know, if I
Vale, aquí no sé nada nuevo.
I'm so excited to let you know.
Oh no, Wislot, ya se ponle todo lo que tocó me lo meto en el ano. Me gustó. Qué mierda. Creo que voy a tener que abrir un lugar donde atienda a la gente con problemas de la cabeza, Contenido.
You can look in the video. So last episode we learned about events, of course, and Spigot. But this time we're going to be learning about commands, which is pretty cool because commands are an essential part of making plugins. So yeah, so we can make like any command we want to, of course, like /suicide or /explode, those are stuff like that. Okay, so if you want to do that, just click plugin here.
nunca me aceptó la solidez.
Usual, we're going to make a plugin. I'm going to call
Ah, no,
it
sí me
command
aceptó.
tutorial. And actually, anyway,
dices?
there's
Ya
two ways to make
aceptó
a
todas.
command in Spigot, and like
Bueno,
the events basically. But all right, looks good to me. So we're going to give a description. All right, so let's
ya
start.
me olvidé.
So here we have our plugin for us. Let's go ahead and open this up. Nice.
Sí.
Okay. So what we're going to do for the first method is to have it all in one file. We're going to have it in our main file here. So yeah, so that's what we do. So to make a plugin thing, we have to have this method here. So it's called command or no, public. And so since we type public, we have all these suggestions, and we're going to have this first one here, public boolean on command. So double click that. Now we have it open, and we're going to get rid of that and do return false or true. I don't think it matters. So anyway, here is our
Ya, se acaba
make
de renderizar el video.
plugin thing. We have to have this method here. So it's called command or no, public. And so since we type public, we have all these suggestions, and we're going to have this first one here, public boolean on command. So double click
Me
that. Now
cago
we have
en
it
la
open, and
puta,
we're going to
me
get rid of that and do
olvidé
return false
de algo importante.
or true. I don't think it matters. So anyway, here is our command.
Ah,
So every time we say
vale.
command, this will run. Okay.
No,
Duda
me olvidé
igual.
de algo. No.
Si pones término mal te dará más visitas. Y sé que es click. Madre de Dios, vaya forma de escribir clickbait. Pero lo usan mucho. Sí, bueno, pasó un poco de moda ya.
Every time. So let's look at this.
sí,
Here we have
¿verdad?
4 parameters, okay? And so the first parameter, this is the sender. This is who sends the command, the player or the console. That's the only 2 things that can be able to send a command is the player or the console. Any player, of course. Just whoever sends it.
Estuve
Then we
ya
have the command, which is just
renderizando
the
el
name of the
video
command.
y tenía que
The
poner
name label, I'm
esto.
not actually sure what label does, but you know, it's there anyway. And then we have this last one. As you can tell, it's a string. It's an array of strings with the name of args. And this will be your arguments for your commands. We're not going to go over that this episode because it's kind of extensive. Anyway, not really. But yeah, so this will be like slash explode and then space and then like
Quiero
and then put
acabar
the player's name, you know, just
para
command arguments, stuff
irme
like
a
that. So yeah, this is the
comer
person who sends it.
porque
This is the actual command
Pirito
itself,
no
like
me
you know, the name of the
deja
command. And this is the arguments and
hasta
so anyway,
que
so we can get started already. We can
el
make a
video
command.
se
So
ponga
let's make our first command something like this. Let's do it.
y
Give type
me
statement,
tiene
check what it is. And if
amenazado.
inside of here now
Ayuda, ayuda, ayuda.
Muchas gracias. Sí.
we gotta have we gotta check and see if the command, like what the command is. So we got inside of here is the name of the command that you want. So command we gotta check
Pirito
and
me
see
tiene
if the
secuestrado,
command,
ayuda. A ver, esto va aquí y otra vez a renderizar el jodido video. Ok, no voy a quejar.
like what the command is. So we gotta do
¿Cuánto tiempo me
command
dice que espere? A ver.
dot get name dot equals, and then inside
Ah, bueno, no es tanto.
of here is the name of the command that you want. So this is where we're gonna have, so like slash and then the name right there. So this is what that is. So I'm gonna call mine die, and yeah, that's pretty dark, but oh well. And then we gotta use if statements, we gotta put that there, and we'll have else. So if they don't type that,
6
then
minutos
you
con
know,
14.
it's not gonna work. Actually, we don't even need else, so it's just gonna not do anything if it doesn't work,
Vaya.
right? Or if it's not that command. So anyway, so this is our command, right? And so once they type die, then something is gonna right here. So sender. Okay, we gotta import all that. So we import that, and so what this does is make a player, and then get it's just the same as typing like sender dot, and then we can do anything to the die. So let's make it kill. Let's say the console types this command. How is it going to set the health of the console to 0? That doesn't even make sense. So what developers usually do is make a check here to see if the
Oh, la madre, se prendió la luz.
you need to be a player.
Vale, hasta aquí llego.
Copy this and paste this here. Then we have another command. All we have to do is just rename this to like
Estoy viendo una cosa
Sí,
mientras
pero son en
check
España.
player. See,
las 3 y
here
10.
you go. And we'll say let's do player dot get health
Tomarme un cafecito más que sea.
plus 1. Let's try that. Oh, we can't do that. Not statement. Oh yeah, I got it. Okay, so player dot set health. And inside that we'll have player dot get health plus 1. That should work. If we have else if, like we do. And so we don't have to register them, thankfully, because it's inside of the main method. So what we can do, we have to go to our plugin.yml and then make a whole new section here. So we'll call it commands. That's what it has to be called. It has to be called commands. And then tab once, just once, then have the name of the command. So the first name is die. And then
Ah,
tab
ya se
again.
renderizó.
And then we have to have description of the command. So description. Die full.
El mouse loco.
Okay, and then we can have, that's the only one you actually need, but we can have another one usage. So this just tells them how to use it, and then just do it like that.
No me
Usually
vengas
that one,
joder
I don't know,
de
but anyway.
que
So we
no.
gotta add the other ones to make sure you go back, because it has to have a hierarchy, right? So make sure you go back one tab, and then so the second command was called health, please. We gotta add the other ones to make sure it tells them how to use it, and then just do it like that. Usually that one, I don't know, but anyway. So we gotta add the other ones to make sure you go back, because it has to have a hierarchy, right? So make sure you go back one tab, and then so the second command was called health, please. Health, please. We'll give it a description.
Vale, esto es
Package is not
hacerlo.
sourced. So we gotta open this here. We'll go to here. So if we had 1 health, it would be 20 half hearts. Math, wow. You can let's do if
A ver
get equal
cuánto
to
me dice el tiempo
20.
para que se guarde.
Send the player message, player does. And then we'll have
Una
else.
hora,
This is if
nada.
we don't have 20 health. And there we go. So that should work
Ah,
better. So let's
espera.
go ahead and run it. Let's have another thing here, and then we'll call it alias. Or aliases, like this. Aliases. And then inside of here we have like a little
Vale,
array of
esto,
quotes, and then,
esto ya no sé hacerlo.
we'll call it
Piri, me
alias.
puedo ir a comer mientras el video carga.
Bueno, no deberías, pero bueno.
Solo está cargando. Aquí dice que tengo que esperar 18 minutos.
Pero come poco, ¿eh?
Or aliases, like this. Aliases.
Así que eso.
And inside of here we
Ya
have like a little
regreso.
array
No
of
he
sorts,
comido.
and then we have different aliases like help me live, because help is already command, so help me live slash, comma for another one, and then heart, stuff like that. And this should give us aliases, so instead of typing health please, we can be able to type these also. So I actually never tried this, so we're gonna try that right now, so let's run this again.
Puta madre. Nada, los anuncios de YouTube.
Back in the server, and let's try running our command health please. You already have full health, nice try. And then it sends the command we just typed again. Yeah, so we get a little problem here where it just sends the command we just typed back to us. And I found out that problem comes from the plugin.yml, where we have usage. For some reason, we can't have usage. I don't know, it just repeats the command every time. We send it. So yeah, that's a problem, so I just got rid of that. So yeah. So next time if we add the plugin without the usage, then we'll do that. But anyway, so that works. So let's try, okay, so our creeper just hit us, I think, so let's do health please again. And yeah, we got a heart. So let's try slash help me please, or help please, or heart. Oh, right, awesome. So the alias worked. If we did slash heart, it actually worked the same way. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Awesome. So yeah. So last thing I want to try is we set it to, if the console types the command, then it won't work. It'll just send a message in the console. So let's go to our console and test that out. So let's do slash die. Awesome. So it says you need to be a player to do this command. So let's do health or heart. Health please. Awesome, it works. So, yep, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Now you know how to do commands in the basic way. In the next episode, we're going to be doing commands the same exact way, but we have to...
A ver. Un momentito, vuelve para atrás. Vale. A ver, aunque no lo tenga creado ya, pero bueno. Voy a tener un comando que se va a llamar mobshop y va... Tiene que tener description, usage, aliases. Description, usage, aliases. Description. Biomob. Usage. Slash. Command. Command y aliases sería mb.
Then we have different aliases like...
Siguiente vídeo. Pero ¿tú has leído algún libro? Y si lo has hecho, ¿cuál te gustó más? Libro normal, dices, de... tipo, una novela o algo así.
In the Spigot tutorial series, we're going to be doing commands part 2, which is basically me showing you how to make commands with classes. Well, I mean, you already know how to do commands, but this time we're going to have a separate class for each command that you make. That's what you should be doing when you make bigger plugins, so you can have big structure and stuff like that. So anyway, let's just get right into it. So commands on my part 2, something like that. Me.Illuminati Productions. There we go. So next.
A ver, leer... Tengo leído muy poco. Porque en general no me gusta leer. Y la gran mayoría de lo poco que leí eran libros o que tenía que leer obligado en el instituto porque me hacían un examen de ellos. Así que... tanto como libro favorito que me haya gustado... creo que no tengo. Pero... de todos los que leí y el que más me gustó, lo cual también es raro porque fue un libro obligatorio y normalmente cuando te obligan a leer algo es raro que guste, pero bueno. Fue El Príncipe de la Niebla. No me acuerdo cómo se llama el autor. Pero bueno. Yo también ando programando. ¿Desde cuándo tú sabes programar? ¿Y qué estás programando?
Boom, looks good to me. Commands are cool. That's my description.
Lo que sí que quiero leer son en versión original, o sea, en versión original no, en inglés, no en castellano. Los Metro, los 3 libros, la trilogía de los Metro, porque jugué a los videojuegos y me encantaron. Y quiero leerlos. O sea, es que quiero leerlos, no, es que quiero tenerlos comprados. Pero pues, no me he decidido nunca.
Let's go ahead and copy the plugin name so we can put it. That's what the folder will be called. Awesome. Okay, so
Buscar palabras de que me quede sin historia fue entretenerme. O sea, que te gusta leer, joder.
let's get
O sea, a mí es que leer no me...
Come on. Run. Fast. Awesome. So I'm going to get rid of this because we just don't need it. And then here, we're good with this for now. So let's go ahead and open up our project. Ooh, whoa. This one right here. So we have our main, then Java, then me. Oh gosh, I should probably fix that. Compact empty middle packages. There we go. So there we go. Here's our packages, right? And so I'm going to make a new package here. New package. I'm going to call this one commands. Just like that. Commands.
Vale. Entonces, ahora sí voy a empezar por aquí. Hola, Wishlot, aunque estás en Discord, creo, ¿verdad? Ah, no, te fuiste a comer, supongo. Casi programas a los 16. Que si tiene 16 años. Algo así. No sé, a ver. Si preguntas por libros para leer, supongo que es porque te gusta leer, pero bueno. El Kia sin con Q. Madre mía. ¿Pero qué estás programando? Así. No algo muy complicado, es algo sencillo con lo cual puedo repetir infinitamente unos comandos. ¿Pero estás hablando de Minecraft o de...? ¿De qué? ¿Qué si tiene 16? Ah, vaya. A ver, un momento porque me perdí. A ver, no. No me he perdido, no. Si quiero comer, pues apura. Edita el vídeo de una vez. Java class.
So this one will allow commands, obviously. So we'll have one command. We'll call it, let's set it to God. So /God. If you
Bueno, es que esto no debería hacerlo así. ¿Cómo lo tenía hecho aquí? Voy a llamarlo así. No, de Minecraft no. A ver, ¿qué cojones? ¿Riad?
¿Sí?
Ah, no.
¿Qué pasó?
No.
Me quedé dormido.
Ya. ¿Y quién le dijo? Según Doriloco. Pues... ¿Quién le dijo Doriloco? Solo lo sabrá. Doriloco no es que sea muy fiable, pero bueno. De día está, solo falta la miniatura. Excusas, Wizard. Me apunté el nombre del libro para buscarlo luego. Bien. Los amigos. Doriloco es de México, creo. ¿Cómo me conoces? Sí, es de México.
know that command, it makes you invincible. So that's what we'll have for our first command. So yeah, so to make this command, we're gonna obviously need to, well, not obviously because we didn't do this last time, but what we need to do is we need to do extends command execute. Okay, so there we go. And then what we need to do. So if you've been watching my other job episodes where you know about abstract classes and stuff, when you have an abstract method inside of an abstract class and then it extends that class, you have to implement the method basically. Basically like, what's it called? I just made an episode on this. It's called interfaces. So if you don't know about that, don't worry about it. But so we have to add the implemented method here, which is basically just a command right here. So type public and then it'll come up and just tab like that. So that's what it wants you to have.
Ay, calla. Joder, vamos rápido.
Falta botín.
Sí, Doriloco es de México, Juan. ¿Cómo sabes? Porque Doriloco pasó su Instagram no sé cuántas veces, tenía acento mexicano. Él mismo lo decía que era de México, o sea... No, se llama César. No sé qué más, pero César. Sender command string level vale.
Because this will be abstract or whatever, basically. So I'm not sure why we have a little error here. No interface expected here. Oh, right, it is an interface. So it has to be implements command executor. Sorry about that. So make sure whenever you make a command, it implements.
Ay, la madre que te parió. Confundido. Esto me hace falta. Vale, sí. Ahora sí, Sandro. Vale. ¿Cómo que excusas? El tipo como que... habla mucho. Es que lo tengo a velocidad por 2. Bueno, por 1.75. Porque si no va muy lento. O sea, a esta velocidad entiendo perfectamente el inglés que habla. Así que... yo te sigo desde hace 2 años. Teniendo en cuenta que no me conoces ni desde hace 1 año, es un poco perturbador que me sigas desde hace 2. Ya terminé, solo tengo que hacer pasar el tiempo para ver si está funcionando. ¿Pero en qué programaste? O sea, ¿en qué lenguaje? ¿O en qué... qué? No sé.
Sorry about that. So yeah, so we'll leave all that. And good, this is return false. That's what we want. And so good, we have our command, right? So all pretty good. So now that we're all done here, basically setting everything up, what we need to do is have we need to check to see if the console or the players obviously doing the command. So we'll do if and just in the name the command middle on description invent god. And then we check to see if it's a player, and then made the player invulnerable, and then we return false. So that should work pretty good. Okay, made the player. So that all looks good to me. So yeah, so we made our command here, command class god
Momento.
become invincible. And then have to have like god in here. And we have to
Ah, esto es lo que quería escuchar.
did this before. If that should make the player invulnerable, of course, because that's in the name. So the cool thing is we didn't have to check the command. Sorry.
Pero ¿en qué lenguaje estás programando? ¿Cómo que ya lo has dicho? No lo dijiste. Dijiste, no algo muy complicado, es algo sencillo con lo cual puedo repetir infinitamente unos comandos. Que sí me dijo que programa en Word. Programa en Word y... te baneo, pero de la vida.
Sorry about my mic, but we didn't have to check to make sure the command was correctly in the name. So the cool thing is we didn't have to check the command. Sorry about my mic, but we didn't have to check to make sure the command was correctly spelled out like this. But we did have to. We did this before. If command get name equals, and then have to have like god in here. And then we have to check this, and we'll put all this inside there. We didn't have to do this time because it's in a whole separate class. So what we're gonna do here, go back into our main method. Now we register the command. So we'll do get command.
Vale.
And then we'll have god here. That's where we have it. And then set executor. This will be the class that it's in. So new god. There we go. So it'll all
Vale. Pues no sé cómo explicarlo. Pero el lenguaje de programación en Java, en C, en C++, en Python, no sé. Es que no sé ni siquiera si lo que estás programando es un programa normal que se programa en un lenguaje de programación. No sé cuántas veces me he repetido ahí, pero bueno. En fin. ¿Cómo estás, Piri? ¿Bien? No le leas, está trastornado. Te mejor que es fácil programar si lo haces en YouTube. Si lo haces, ¿lo qué? Bueno, en fin, voy a copiar el comando que tengo por aquí, bastante larguito. Aquí está. Un momento, tengo que buscar una cosa también. IntelliJ idea indentation. Control Alt L. Control Alt L. Vale, ya está. Bien, indentado, como coño se diga. A ver, tengo que importar esta clase. Importar esta. Esta. Vale, esto de plugin tal cual. Voy a dejarlo así por ahora. Ya he terminado, adiós. Vale, y ahora tengo que...
automatically import the class for you and all that kind of stuff. So now
Get command, el nombre... ¿Qué nombre tiene? Joder. Punto...
now it's all set, but now don't
¿Cómo le llamé? Mob shop by. Vale.
forget we have to go into our plugin.yml and register our
Grito a dormir time.
commands.
Nada, temprano. 3:30.
God. And then we made our like that. So I think that'll work, but anyway. So that all looks good to me. So yeah, so we made our command here, command class of God, and then we checked to see if it's a player, and then made the player invulnerable, and then we returned false. So that should work pretty good. Okay. So let's go ahead and open up our Maven thingy. So tool windows, Maven projects, then plugin. Oh no,
Vale. Esto debería funcionar. A ver si ahora eres lo suficientemente ágil para unirte, Juan. ¿Cuánto por ahora? No sé cuál es. Creo 2. Si no está vivo, no lo has alimentado en semanas. Pues sí, no sé cómo sigue vivo, la verdad. Ahora sí, abrir server. A ver si no da ningún error. Vale.
Vamos a quitar tierra acá.
Programa con bloc de notas. Bueno, no está tan mal, ¿eh? Ah, es horrible, pero me refiero, es posible. ¿Qué mierda? Acaban de asesinar una llama. Vale. Funciona bien. Ship. Y si pongo con mayúscula o con... Y también en teoría funciona esto. Vale, perfecto. Y pongo algo que no existe. Juan Gamer join the game. Por ejemplo, esto que no existe. Vale, no es un modo válido. Una flecha. Bueno, sí. Si pongo... Si no pongo nada, tienes que poner un modo. Pongo así. Muchos argumentos. Y si lo ejecuto de consola... Solo puedes usar este comando en el juego. Efectivamente. Te voy a dar OP, Juan, por si quieres hacer algo. Me da igual, la verdad, lo que hagas. Mientras no me molestes. Vale. Pues...
Cycle.
Esto está.
Package. I'm sure there's an easier way to do this message just to test it out. But anyway, so what we should do now is try and take damage. So let's build. So yeah, so that's how we did a basic command. And just to finish things off, we're gonna make one more command. So let's go back into our IntelliJ here, and let's go ahead and create a new command or new class inside of our commands package. We're gonna call this one fat. And so click and for you so you don't.
Vale, esto no le das otro comando y listo.
Now thanks.
Esto es hacerlo.
Good to go. Wait for it to go to classes and stuff. You want to see more?
Opa. Esto es permisos. ¿Se puede saber qué haces matando mobs a puño? Hostia, ¿cómo te dejo entrar ahora que lo pienso? Que este servidor está hosteado local en mi PC. No sé cómo te va. Tengo VPN. Pero que al principio el servidor, el nuestro, la guarida, estaba hosteado en mi casa. Y no pudo entrar nadie de Latinoamérica. Por el lag, o sea...
The command name dot and then the permission name. So we'll do well, the name of the plugin is commands part 2. So commands is really long and stupid. But commands part 2 for the feed plugin because we don't have. let's say you don't have the permission to do /God permissions are. Hey, what's up guys, back again with another video in the Spigot tutorial series. This episode we're going to be learning about permissions, and hopefully you know what permissions are. It's just a way for server owners to allow their players to do certain things and not allow them to do certain things. Like, let's say you don't have the permission to do /God, that means this episode we're going to be learning about permissions, and hopefully you know what permissions are. It's just a way for server owners to allow their players to do certain things and not allow them to do certain things. Like, let's say you don't have the permission to do /God, that means the player can't do /God, you know, stuff like that. So we're going to edit our current program that we did last episode, and
Yo no sabía que Dory era de México, pues sí, así es.
so we're going to do it for the feed plugin because we don't have the ability to toggle God yet. So what we're going to do is we have to test and see if the player has a certain permission to be able to run this command here. So right here we can have, if you want to, we could say if, and then here we have, actually right here, so we say if player dot has permission, and then here we put the name of the permission. So usually what you do is put the command name dot and then the permission name. So we'll do, well, the name of our plugin is commands part 2, so commands, it's really long and stupid, but commands part 2, parts 2, I don't know why I named it that, commands parts 2, and then dot and then the command name, so it would be feed. So that is the command, the permission that you're testing for. So if the player has that permission, then run the command here. There we go. Oops. So yeah, that will do that. So if he has permission, run that. But then we'll have else here. We could say if he doesn't have the permission, then we'll say player dot send message. You do not have the required permission.
Vale, eso está muy bien.
It's permission, then he'll run it. But if he doesn't, they'll send him a message. That message right there. So yeah, that's how a plugin like group manager or permissions X, and then in the plugin, that plugin you would give them the permissions like that. So we're not going to go over that. But the way we're going to test it, if the player's opt, then he'll obviously have every permission in the game. So then it'll work. But if the player's not opt, then he won't have the permission. And then run Maven build. I reloaded the server. It's right now. The in-game job. Require permission. We're going to try. So inside of that, we'll have new Java class code. We're going to try it with a event. So yeah, it's the same concept, but we're going to do it real quick. So we're going to do it with the player move event from player. There we go. Player move event, of course. Specify here means that basically, and then he can move freely if he wants to. Server and see how it works. And now we can move. Awesome. So it's pretty simple as that. And yeah, so if you liked the episode, leave a like if you liked it. Wait, what?
Verdad, una cosa que tengo que probar. El server este. Help. Ay. Dios mío. Vale.
So if you like the episode, leave a like. Hey, what's up guys, back again with another video. So we're going to be moving on with the Spigot stuff.
Uf, 22 minutos este vídeo.
And the config.yml file, which hopefully you know about if you've messed around with plugins before or used them, anything. So what it is that you can provide a file that goes along with your plugin for the server owner can mess around with, and they can configure certain things within the plugin. Like let's say we have what's called MOTD, which is the player join message, I believe, and you can configure what that message will be every time they join. So instead of it being configured inside the plugin code like right here, it'll be configured inside this file. So not just the developer can change it, the server owner can change it. So hopefully you know what that is because I'm not going to explain it, of course. But anyway, so let's go ahead and make this project and you'll see more about it. So let's do configuration plugin. That's what I would call mine. Doesn't matter what you call yours. And of course we have our package here. Okie dokie, looks good to me. Let's copy this. Oops, there you go. Good. Let's change this file. Gotta put this in front. Where's the slash? The forward slash. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Okay. Okay. So you don't have to really worry about what I just did. Just make sure you create the plugin. And I just was setting the project folder, so no problem. Okay. This project directory doesn't exist, so it'll create. Okay, cool. Anyway.
Me cobra por comprar un map. No, por ahora no.
Just like that. Great.
Bueno, en realidad no es un mob, ¿eh?
Now we're gonna go. So right
Es una entidad, puedes comprar cualquier entidad. Bueno,
at the back,
comprar,
get rid of this
spawnear.
because we don't need it, of course. And yeah, so let's see. Let's open this up here. Oh, not that one. This one. There we go. Main Java main package, and there we go. So here's our plugin. So right off the bat, if we're gonna do this, we need to have a config.yml. So you can pretty much have it wherever, I believe, like up here and here. But where I recommend you have it is just so you can keep everything orderly. Keep in your resources package or folder, whatever, same thing. So do new and then do file, and then you can name the file. So we'll do config.yml, and it has to be called that. Okay. So yeah. So now that we have this here, we have to register in our.
Vale, voy a hacer eso ya. Voy a crear aquí un nuevo archivo que va a ser la famosa config. Ponerla aquí y voy a copiar la que tengo por aquí. Que es esta. Bueno, aquí podría poner más. Pero bueno.
On enable, but just know that we're going to be working with not just the main file class here. We're actually going to be doing it, accessing the config within other classes, but that's a little more difficult. So we're going to be doing that later on. So anyway,
¿Qué
folder,
dijiste?
whatever, same thing. So do new and then do file, and then you can name the file. So we'll do config.yml, and it has to be called that. Okay. So yeah. So now that we have this here, we have to register in our on enable, but just know that we're going to be working with not just the main file class here. We're actually going to be doing it, accessing the config within other classes, but that's a little more difficult. So we're going to be doing that later on. So anyway, so how to register this? We could do like this. We do git config dot, and then we'd say options dot, and then copy defaults, and then just like that. And then that what that will do is load the file and copy it every time your plugin loads up basically. And then this one right here will make sure that saves. So it's save default config. Make sure you don't do save config, but save default config. There's a difference. So there we go. Now we have that. And yeah, so we're good to go with that. And so yeah. So to test it out, we're gonna make a new we're gonna make a command. So we're gonna do it here, of course, like I said. Okay, so we have a command. We're just gonna return false. Keep things simple. Okay, so we're gonna make a command here. We're gonna call it command.get name.equals, and the command will be called print message from config. I know that's long, but just so you understand what's happening. I was trying to do, I guess you could say, you can script it. So
Vale, esto
now we have all
vamos a
these
hacerlo.
get config, and then get string, because this is a string, of course, right? So make sure it's get string that you're doing. So get string, and then string here. And this is where you put the name of the string, basically. So that would be food, like that. Okay. So what this will do is print the value of food, which is, as you know, potato. So that's how that works. Pretty simple, right? So what you should do, so this might get a little long if you do it like this. So what you should do is have a different variable for each config value. So let's do, you just do ml called print message from config. So I'll just copy it. Lifecycle and package, and then I'll meet you inside the server. So actually, I'm going to show you this. We're going to start the server here, and we have to wait 15 seconds. But what will happen is if we go into our plugins, let's do help. Your plugins are very configurable. Now what we have to do is reload the plugin before we do it. Yep, so now it's reloaded. So now we can do exactly. So what we're going to do now that we access the string within our plugin, we're going to access the other data types that we specify in our config.yml. So let's go back in here, and let's try and access number and boolean. So it's, and then we'll also, that's just the fact that we can access that is really cool. So yeah, so that's important. So if we go into and then get string list right here, get string list. So we get the data type and then list. Pretty simple, right? So then we provide the path, of course. So the index of this will be 2. Head into our plugin folder here, and we're going to see if we can change the list. So we're going to go to plugins, configuration, plugin, config.yml, and so yeah, once we have that config.yml manually inside the server, so let's do that. So let's go inside here, and we're just going to keep this, but we're going to have another command. So else if in this command get name, then equals, and this command will be called set food. So this will be able to set the food over here. So then we'll have. So that's all good, right? So to access set a value, you just do get config.set, and that's all you need to do. So we have 2 parameters, right? So the first parameter will be the path, which is something we've already done, which will be just inside the server. So let's do that. So let's go inside here and reload and all that cool stuff. Let's make a command that sets the value of the config.yml manually inside the server. So let's do that. So let's go inside here, and we're just gonna keep this, but we're gonna have another command. So else if in this command get name, then equals, and this command will be called set food. So this will be able to set the food over here. So then we'll have. So that's all good, right? So to access set a value, you just do get config.set, and that's all you need to do. So we have 2 parameters, right? So the first parameter will be the path, which is something we've already done, which will be just food. That's what it's called. Oops. And then the second will be the value that you're setting it to, which is again pretty simple. So the food that we're going to set it to is shrimp. We'll set it to shrimp. Shrimp is disgusting, by the way. It's horrible. But anyway, so we're setting this to shrimp. So once we load up the plugin, it'll stay as potato, or no, it'll stay as what was it? Shark, because that's what we set it to. So it won't be shrimp yet until we run this command. That's the point. If you're wondering is why whenever we add a new plugin version to our server, we update the plugin. Why isn't it reset to potato? Well, even though we're updating the plugin, we're not deleting this file. So if you're wondering is why whenever we that's what we set it to. So it won't be shrimp yet until we run this command. That's the point. If you're wondering is why whenever we add a new plugin version to our server, when we update the plugin, why isn't it reset to potato? Well, even though we're updating the plugin, we're not deleting this file. So to make it go back to potato, we have to delete this file. But we're not gonna do it, yeah, that's cool. So anyway, we got this command here, and we gotta register. I forgot about that. So let's do that. Let's do set food. I think it was called description. Okay, cool. So I'll see you inside the server, and then we'll test out this command. So now that we have our command, we registered it. Let's go ahead and let's change this to show us the food one again, so then we can test to see if it actually worked. So let's go ahead and run this, and I'll meet you inside the server. Okay, so I reloaded, and let's see. Let's test it out. I'm running our old command. So we get shark, of course. So let's do set food, and that the server parameter instead of here. So yeah, it's hard to explain a little bit, but poop. And then so we'll be working more with this hopefully in the future once we learn about command arguments. But anyway, so we're almost done with Java. Let's just make a new class here. We're gonna call it our let's see. Let's go back. What's it called? Command executor.
Vale, aparte de aquí eso no me interesa.
Commands. So this will be where we have commands. And what I'm gonna do now is show you how to access. Yep.
Sigues haciendo el plugin.
¿Tú qué crees?
Okay. So we have a command here, right?
Jugando.
This command will be called. We're gonna rename it.
¿Quién está en el servidor que me ayude?
Hay 4 personas en el server ahora. O sea que...
Fuck. ¿Cómo hago esto?
Where's the rename? Refactor rename. We're gonna call it explode because I'm not creative, so I'm gonna call it that. And no interface expected here, so it's supposed to be implements. Sorry, implements. Yep. But anyway, so now we have our command set up, so we're gonna do stuff now. So we'll do what we did last time. So we'll do player, and we'll import that equals player sender And what we're gonna do is send the player message like last time, what we did with the food, right? So let's say we want to make the food variable like we did. Food string food equals new, and then we can't do get config anymore because we're not inside the main class. So to do that, we have to create other. We have to create a plugin reference. So to do that, just do plugin. Oops. We gotta import that first. Plugin equals, and then command executor. No. What's the command? The plugin name. So configuration plugin dot get plugin, and then configuration plugin again dot class. So that's a little extent. But it's pretty simple. Just copy and paste into a notepad if you need it for later on. You probably
A ver, entonces tengo que ver si ok, aquí crear un plugin, le voy a llamar plugin, que va a ser igual a, tengo que importar esto.
El plugin se llama plugin.
No es un plugin como tal, son cosas de programadores, supongo.
¿Quién más está en el servidor? A ver.
Esto va a ser igual a mob shop
Ya, rapidito. Fua, no hay nadie que me ayude.
get plugin. ¿Que te ayuda a qué?
Tomar unas fotos. Bueno, vendría siendo el... esto. Y el sheriff se fue.
Well, of course, if you're gonna be doing this, so if you can't remember, just copy and paste it. So anyway,
Se fue,
so
pero-
let's see, we have error here. That's strange. So we'll do get config. We do plugin dot get config now. So if we want to access it, we can do plugin.
Vale,
Te
y ahora,
ayudo, ya, entra. Ayúdame.
ahora sí que puedo coger esto de aquí y ponerlo en vez de true
bueno.
aquí esto.
Zombie chiquito.
Plugin dot get config. So that works now. So get config shrimp now, I think.
No quiero morir,
So get
morir
new-
ahorita. No,
You did right.
Oh, no.
Okay, so we got shrimp help. I'll be glad.
Oh, no.
Vale, reiniciar el server.
¿Cómo? ¿Qué has dicho?
Ese no, joder, el mío.
Ah,
Bueno, tengo que primero...
¿en qué te ayudo? A ver, quiero tomar las fotos, lo que vendría siendo por primera parte el de Juegos del Hambre, pero no va a ser en el Juegos del Hambre, sino que va a ser en un lugar, hijo. Espérame, Juan, que tengo unos cuantos fantasmas aquí pegándome, haciéndome bullying. Espérame, dame dos. Y de paso es que me llevo armadura. Ah, sí tengo armadura. Ah, espérate. Tráete armadura de hierro, Juan. La armadura de hierro que tengas y una espada de madera o de hierro también. De diamante no. Sí, de hierro. El evento era de hierro. Bueno, casi. No, de nederita no. Nederita no. Ahora yo qué hago con 2 libros y ya no me entra en el lugar donde tengo guardados los libros ya.
Juan, ¿se puede saber qué hiciste con una oveja aquí? Pregunto.
Vaya. Qué curioso dato.
Hostia, no estaba leyendo el chat. Recién me di cuenta que he estado viendo el directo 10 minutos atrasado. What?
10 minutos atrasado, men.
¿Y te baneaste al tipo que te dije? Ay, no sé de quién me hablas. Me suena tu nombre, pero... No sé de quién me hablas.
Sí.
Johnny777G Pro. Me suena, pero no sé, es que no sé de qué me hablas.
Uf.
No, eso
Espada de
no pasa nada.
espada de hierro no tengo, A ver dónde consigo. Ah, no, acá arriba tengo hierro. Ahí está. Ya estás, Juan.
Vale.
Juan. Ok, te espero. Quiero hacer la miniatura porque ustedes vieron que me puse un reto de si no subía hasta las 11:59 el video, era me transformó en un Apache helicóptero. Eso era antes de... No, lo dije el sábado. Si el sábado no subo video a estas horas, no me hago, ya sabes eso. O sea, este sábado. Y el video ya está, solo falta la miniatura.
No sé cómo cambiarlo.
Bueno, Juan, espérate, me voy al spawn y que me lleve a un lugar aleatorio para hacer ahí. Y para el evento de construcción, pues...
Dios mío, la de
ya
cosas que
sé dónde
tengo
va a ser.
abiertas. ¿Solo puedo cerrar?
Está mi chuleta, la pucha madre.
Esto lo puedo
Esto
cerrar.
de aquí. 63 de roble, 63 de abedul, madera,
Esto lo
madera.
voy a cerrar
de tallo.
también.
¿Y eso de qué es, espíritu? ¿Para qué es? ¿Para construir o qué?
¿Lo que?
Lo que diste en el evento este de la cosa naranja, ese...
Ah,
Ender chest.
son materiales de construcción.
Ah, está bien, está bien. Ay, no tengo comida, me va a tocar comer panita. A ver, dale... Juan.
What I mean by that is we've made commands before, but
Espérate,
this
voy
time we
a...
can specify
voy al
arguments for
spawn,
commands. Like, for example, on
elijo
some
un
servers you
lugar
have like slash kill
aleatorio
space
y
and then the
te
player's
haces
name, or
directo.
like certain, or like if you send the player a message, maybe you could do like slash message space and then all the words you want to send. Those are all arguments. So if you don't know what I mean, I'll just show you if that's a little confusing. Oh, it's pretty simple, but you know. So let's go ahead and get started by making a new plugin. So command arguments. That's what I'll call mine. You can call yours whatever you want, of course. So meet illuminated productions. Good. I'll copy this. Next. Boom. All right. Good. Okay, I'll do that. And looks like we're good to go. So I'll delete this. Don't need that. And we'll open this up right here.
Hola, Mati.
Uy, ve.
Alright, let's get it. So we're gonna make a new
Perfecto
command
lugar
tree,
que me
and we'll keep
apareció.
our commands. Just so we have some structure here. We're gonna make a new command. We're gonna call.
Ahora,
Okay. Okay, so now we're gonna make a new command. We're gonna call it. Let's call it.
Ven a ver
Send
el
word.
lugar.
That's a really simple command. It's just gonna send a player a word. Pretty simple. There we go. So that's all added. Very good. If you don't know what the hell I'm doing, just go back a few episodes, like episode 5 and 6, I believe. Should show you how to do it. Anyway, so once we have this command structure set up, we're good to go. But we have to register our command tree and start plugging out YML. We'll do that in a second though. Okay, so we're registering here. We'll do it.
No lo borraste suficientemente rápido. Me dio tiempo a leerlo.
Command.
Esa maravillosa letra. ¿Cuál es el nombre que hay que poner a la etiqueta para que la oveja cambie de color? Jeb _.
Jeff.
Send word.
Es básico.
Awesome.
Eso es
And set
básico.
executor. New send word.
Juan, dale.
Por
ven y
Dios,
entra básico.
cultura
So eventually
general de
that in there, so we're
Minecraft.
gonna make YML by doing like this. Commands.
Eso, ¿verdad?
Send word.
¿Cuántos chunks
And then
tienes,
description. We're gonna make it bare
Juan?
minimum just by providing a description.
Sí, Jeb _.
That's the functionality of the commands. But so yeah, we'll just add that right there. We're good to go. So now we can work on our command. So we're gonna have a command
Puedes
here.
ponerlo a
And
8.
let's make it so only a player can run this command. So we'll do if person who sends to
Puedes, digo.
it checks the word. That's it. And let me show, so let me show you how to work. You
Ponlo
should
a
know.
4 ya.
Let's say we want to
Para
target this word right here. This is
ti
one
ni
of the
para mí.
arguments.
Ponlo a 4.
Make a check for that. We'll do if. And let me show you how this works actually first. So this is
Yo
what
voy a
we're working
poner
with
en
here.
8.
This is array of strings for the. It's called args. And so let me show you how it works. So let's say you do slash send word, right? And you say the word is garbage, okay? And if you know a little bit about arrays, if you should know about arrays if you're doing this right now, but if you don't, just watch one of my tutorials in the Java series. And so I spelled garbage wrong. Holy crap, that's embarrassing. So let's say we want to target this word right here.
Quiero la...
This is one of the arguments. This will actually be argument 0 because arrays are 0 based.
Pon-
Let's say we have
ponte
another word,
aquí
so
donde
garbage
estoy
can, not connected,
Aquí
so
donde
0,
estoy
1,
yo,
and then another word would be 2, another word would be 3, you know, just like that. And this is not an argument. This is obviously, as you
Acá
know,
dice
command. These are two
creación.
different things. These are arguments. Everything after the command is arguments, okay? Starting with 0, of course.
Vas a
So
grabar...
hopefully that
No,
makes a
no
little bit of sense.
grabar esto.
Okay, so
No, tú vas a
let's say
tomarle
if
con el
args.length
F2 la foto.
is not equal to 1. Yeah, that looks good. How about we do if args.length is
Por
bigger
eso
than 0?
digo,
Okay?
aléjate un
So
poco
everything inside
para
will work,
que
but
a
if
lo
it's
que
not
le
bigger than 0,
hagas
meaning it
zoom
doesn't have
solo
any arguments, like I said
parezca un
before, we'll send the
poquito.
player message. Oh, we need to say what player is when you cast it. Player,
Cachas.
player equals player.
Atrás tuyo, cuidado,
There we go.
cuidado atrás,
So
Juan.
in that we'll do
Cuidado atrás.
player.send message. You need to give the command an argument. And then we'll say how to give an argument, so we'll do player.send message.
En fin.
We'll do slash send message.
A ver, me avisas el ángulo si dices me muevo más a la
So that'll show them how to work it.
derecha, a
They
la
don't do it like that. Let's say
izquierda,
they didn't provide, the word at the end. This is why this runs, okay? So anyway, so if they did provide a word, then what we're gonna do is say
que se vea
player.send message.
No, no. Ponle
We'll say
el F1 para que no se vea
0.
nada,
So this
solo
will
se
just
vea
send a
la
message back to
pantalla.
the player. So yeah. So that should work, yeah. So what it's doing here is it's checking to see if the command had an argument of more than 0, which means it has an argument at least 1. So there's a word here, and then it says player.send message argument 0, which just sends the player the word he just specified and open or Maven. And we'll just for now you need to give a command
Which
which
a ver,
each one
por
and
si
say
no sirve,
if
ahora hazlo tú. A
args
ver,
0
ponte
dot
ya,
equals in
ponte ya.
lowercase garbage. Okay. I'll show you what that means in a second.
A
So
ver, te
what that
pongo la
does, it
foto, a
says
ver.
obviously
No,
if
no,
it has arguments, it's gonna check the
gira
argument.
más
It's gonna
para
look at the
este lado.
it's gonna look at the word argument that you provided.
Eso, ahí,
Or
ahí.
if we wanted
Ahí
to
anda pegándole.
tree. So if the word is tree, it'll run this code. And let's say if it's not tree or garbage, then it'll run this code. And we can go on for every one too. We can check and see
Ahí está.
if that's
A
that.
ver,
So put a 1 here. So we can say
quédate
if
aquí,
first argument is
vamos
garbage
a
and second
ver.
is tree, then run this code.
Windows más
Goes
R.
in, so we can test and see if that actually works. So player dot send message, you are garbage. That's very not nice, but oh well. And then we can say player dot send
Screenshot.
message, You are a head ass. Okay, good. So let's go
A ver
inside our
cómo
server. Now we get it.
quedó.
Okay, so we're inside the server. Freedom.
Uy,
It says you
hay
are head
una
ass
que
because we didn't
quedó al
specify
grano.
garbage or tree, which is fine. It still works. No errors. Good. We set it to provide
Ahora
argument.
tú
Say
pásame las que me tomaste a mí.
freedom. It says you are head ass because we
Las
didn't
que me
specify
tomaste
garbage
tú,
or tree,
pásame.
which is fine. Still works. No errors. Good. We set it to do that. So let's say we do tree. Then we get you are tree. And let's say we add a letter to tree, then it says you are head ass because it knows, okay? Or let's say the T is capital inside tree, then it still says you are tree because we said dot equals ignore case, meaning it's going to ignore the case of it. So that's just a cool little tip there for you. And then we'll do garbage now. And it's pretty simple. There's many ways you can do many things, and you can check for questions. Just leave a comment if you want to see more. And peace.
Espérate, aquí Juan, voy a traer uno. Espérate, ya está bien. Okay.
What's up, guys? Back again with another video. Last episode
Voy
we
a
worked
mi
with command
casa por
arguments
unos
and stuff like
bloques
that. Which is
para
pretty cool, but this time we're going to expand on that and work with players. So let's say we want to kill a player. You know, some servers have /kill, so you can do like /kill and then space the player's name as an argument. And yeah, so we're going to work with getting player names and then
ahí me
affecting players
mandas
like that. So
tu rubik.
yeah, we know how to get the player, the sender, you know, the person who sent the command, but we want to get who the arguments, you know, stuff like that with players. So I'll show you what I mean. So we're going to make a whole new command here. So we're going to make a new class. We'll call it kill, like we wanted to do last episode, and then we're going to give it, implements, command, execute. What the hell?
A ver.
Executor, good. And then public will be an command. Great. Return false. Accidentally got rid of that. Oh crap, I need that there. Okay, cool. So what this will do is we want to kill the player, right? So right off the bat, we'll check and see if. So within that, we'll do we'll check and see if so we'll do if. We'll make it custom by saying the message every time we kill a player. So what we'll do is say we'll say if args dot length is equal to 0, then we'll say oh yeah, we need to make a player cast the player, you know, player equals player sender, right? So we'll do player dot send message. Oops, nope, that's not English. Player dot send message. You have just killed yourself. Then we'll do player dot set health to 0. Okay, good. So that kills the player and says that message right there whenever they don't provide an argument. So let's say they do provide an argument. We want to get the player that they're trying to, you know, affect. So what we'll do for that is we got to make a new player. So we'll do player, and then we'll call it, you can call it whatever you want, obviously, but we'll call it target because this will be the target player that you're affecting, right? And we'll say we got to do equals and bucket. This is a special method you have to remember. Or you can type it down and save it if you want to know about it or something. Bucket.get player exact. So this will get the player's exact, whatever. So we got to provide the name here. So args 0, right there. So what this will do is create a new player instance or object, I believe, and then it's going to use the special bucket method here, and it's going to take the first argument that you provided in your kill command, and yeah, it's going to set it to target. Okay.
Hola.
So what you want to do is let's say that we do /kill and then the player's name.
¿Qué? ¿Cómo te escribiste? Escribí una I, literalmente.
And then
Una
it's not even
I.
player, like the player doesn't exist on the server. Then obviously we want to check for that. We don't want that to go wrong, right? So we'll do if target instance of player, just like we did up here. So if the player's a player, then say so we'll get the player's here. So we'll do player, and then we'll call it do provide an argument. We want to get the player that they're trying to, you know, affect. So what we'll do for that is we got to make a new player. So we'll do player, and then we'll call it you can call it whatever you want, obviously, but we'll call it target because this will be the target player that you're affecting, right? And we'll say we got to do equals and bucket. This is a special method you have to remember, or you can type it down and save it if you want to do a notepad or something. Bucket.get player exact. So this will get the player's exact whatever. So we got to provide the name here. So args 0, right there. So what this will do is create a new player instance or object, I believe, and then it's going to use the special bucket method here, and it's going to take the first argument that you provide player's name. Get let's do player. Let's say no. Let's do something more specific. That send message. You just got killed. Sound does exist. Do player, just like we did up here on the server. Then obviously we want to check for that. We don't want that to go wrong, right? So we'll do if kill and then the player's name, and then it's not even a player. Like the player doesn't exist on the server. Then obviously we want to check for that. We don't want that to go wrong, right? So we'll do if target instance of player, just like we did up here. So if the player's a player, then we're good to go. If not a player, then let's do player. That's a message. You need to kill a real player. Let's say no. Let's do something more specific. That player does not exist. There we go. So if son, you just killed a man named. Hopefully he's a man, because that would be sexist without it. So the command is a player, which is good, but that's fine. But okay. And if the player, so that player will be if not an actual. Now be suicide. That's weird. It must. No, the problem probably is we didn't register our new command. That's probably why. So let's go into here. Get command. Kill. Dot set executor. New. Kill. There we go. And we gotta register here too, of course. Kill description. Die. There we go. We set the server. Go back and let's try it out. /kill. And yeah, it says that you have just killed yourself. So yeah, it works good. This time it works. So now let's do /kill and then let's provide a player that does not exist, and we'll see if that works. And good, it says that player does not exist. So let's provide our own name since no one else is on the server. And then yeah, it says you just killed a man named Illuminati. So that whole thing freaking works. That is amazing. And hopefully that feels good that you completed this if you did it with me. And yeah, so if you liked it, subscribe if you want to see more. Wait, no, if you liked it, like the video. If you want to see more, subscribe. If you want to join the description, join the Discord. It's in the description. And then leave a comment if you need any help or join the Discord, of course. And peace. Hey, what's up, guys? Back again with another video in the Spigot series. This time I'm going to show you how to work with inventories and items for your mic.
What? Dios mío, vaya cambio de voz.
Música a tope. Hola, ¿dónde estoy?
Minecraft plugins.
Ah, mire.
So I'm going to teach you about inventories and items. So basically I'll be teaching you how to make inventories and then let the user open the inventory when they type commands or stuff like that. And then also how to make items and then put it in the inventory and then also give the items some metadata like, you know, enchant the items and give them other cool little features, okay? So you'll see. But anyway, let's just create the plugin. So select Spigot plugin. Of course I have the Minecraft plugin extension for our plugin for IntelliJ. And so now we give it a package name. So me.Illuminati Productions. let's call it actually, we'll call it vaults plugin.
Viva
It's basically
Cristo.
what we're gonna do is make it so they can type /vaults, and then it's gonna open up a custom inventory for
Ah,
the
me
user so they
pica
can
el hombro.
basically put items in. Okay.
Ah,
So we'll click next
ahí-
now. Then
Ahí está.
let's put some information here. Hey. Alright, so now it's going to install everything, or we'll load it, I guess. And so, gotta give it a second, so enable auto import. We can get rid of this, we don't need it. Let's see. So the first thing we want to do, of course, is open this up so we can see what we got here to work with. And so we have our main package here, main class here, of course, so we can, add some stuff. So, just for when the plugin starts up, let's print out a message here. The vaults plugin has started up, okay? Pretty simple, right? And so let's make a command here, okay? So let's make a new package inside of here, and we'll call it commands. And then inside there, we'll make a class, which is going to be our command, okay? So we'll call it vaults command, because that's going to be the command that lets them do /vaults, and then open up a custom command method here. And then make sure you put return true, okay? In the past episodes, whenever they typed a command inside the Minecraft server, it would repeat the command back to them in the chat. That's because we had it as return false, okay? So basically that's a problem because whenever the plugin would execute, no matter what they would do, it would always return false at the end, right? So that means to the Spigot plugin we had to implement command execute, okay? And then of course you want to put your unimplemented method, which is going to be the on command method here. And then make sure you put return true, okay? In the past episodes, whenever they typed a command inside the Minecraft server, it would repeat the command back to them in the chat. That's because we had it as return false, okay? So basically that's a problem because whenever the plugin would execute, no matter what they would do, it would always return false at the end, right? So that means to the Spigot plugin that the command failed, okay? And so if the command failed, it wanted
No sé si hago así.
Pirito, ¿y cómo ir a las parcelas o no? ¿O están prohibido ir?
O ARP parcelas, o PV tu parcela. O sea, la parcela que quieras ver.
/warp. Puse W y aparece este wizard. ¿Qué es eso? /warp. A ver, me estoy teletransportando a la mía. Uy, mi parcela toda guapa.
them, they wanted the command to repeat the usage. If we go here to our plugin.yml, our command is going to have a usage. So let me show you here. So commands, vaults, description, open a vault, and then usage, which is basically going to be telling the user how to use the command if it returns false or if basically the command fails, okay? So that's why I did that, in case you're wondering, okay? But anyway, let's get the command started here. So the first thing we want to do is check and see if an actual player typed the command. Okay, we don't want the console obviously to run this command because a console can't open, an inventory.
Son las 10, ya tengo una hora para hacer la miniatura y enviar
to execute this command. Pretty simple, right? And so the first thing we want to do is get an instance of the player that's that had executed the command. So player equals, and then we'll cast player. Make sure it's capital P for that one. Simple, okay? So what that's going to do, of course, is get the person who set the command.
Más te vale.
And then store it as a variable so we can access it, okay? So to create an inventory, which is going to be like, a little
Recién voy a hacer la
no
miniatura.
lines around, basically. You'll see. So to create one, you can do inventory. You have to create a new inventory object. So inventory, and we'll give it a name of vault because it's going to be the player's vault. So inventory vault is equal to bucket.create inventory, okay? And if you control P, you can see the parameters at once. It went away for some reason. There we go. So the first parameter is going to be the owner of the inventory, okay? So that's going to be the actual player, of course. That opens it, okay? So player. And the next is going to be the size of the inventory. If you want to put that in there, you have to actually, because it's the second one here, as you can see. So usually, for inventories in Minecraft, it's going to be in rows, right? So it's going to be 9 slots on one row. So usually you want to do it by multiples of 9, okay? So 9, 18, 27, 36. So I'm going to put 9 just to keep it simple so you can see. And then now, if you want to, you can have a third parameter, which is going to be the title. And I'm just going to call it your vault. So whenever they open it, it's going to say your vault at the top, okay? So that's what that's going to do. So now that we created this vault, it still doesn't open it to the player. The player can't see this inventory. So to make the player see the inventory, open it like you would open up your normal inventory, you can do player.open inventory, and you just pass in vault, the inventory they just created, okay? So that's basically going to let them open up inventory view whenever they type /vault, okay? So if you don't know what I mean, I'll go ahead and show you. So if we go ahead and open up Maven here, and let's go ahead and run this, and it's going to compile the whole plugin and then put it in a special folder so we can use it, all that fun stuff. Put up the file location. Oops, not that. Open the wrong thing. Hey, what's up, guys? Back again with another video. Hey, what's up, guys? Back again with another video in the Swedish
Cuando inicio la puta madre.
inventory they just created. Your vault. So whenever they open it, it's going to say your vault at the top, okay? So that's what that's going to do. So now that we created this vault, it still doesn't open it to the player. The player can't see this inventory. So to make the player see the inventory, open it like you would open up your normal inventory. You could do player.open inventory, and then you just pass in vaults, the inventory they just created, okay? So that's basically going to let them open up inventory view whenever they type /vault, okay? So if you don't know what I mean, I'll go ahead and show you. So if we go ahead and open up Maven here, let's go ahead and run this, and it's going to compile the whole plugin and then put it in a special folder so we can use it, all that fun stuff. So we'll give that 1 second. Okay, so it's done compiling the plugin, so we're going to right click here. Then we're going to do, let's see here, show and explore, so it's going to open up the file here. 1, 2, 3, 4, exactly right there, okay? So the first thing we're going to do, of course, is actually test the command, so /vaults And there we go. So we get the special inventory open here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 slots, and then at the top it says your vaults, like we told it to. Okay. So that's awesome, right? Now we can actually get players to open custom inventories. Okay. So that's very useful. Custom plugins that you might make. So for example, a plugin like maybe a menu plugin, so you can open up a menu, so the player can select something from the menu, or maybe a shop plugin, so players can look in the GUI inventory and then see items they might want, and they can buy it from the inventory and stuff like that. That's just some examples, but there's many possibilities now that you know how to do this. Okay. But that's not it. I'm gonna teach you way more. So let's go back here and let's see what else we can do. Okay. So now that we can actually make inventory, let's make it so we can put items in there, obviously, because sometimes you might want to fill the inventory with some items that the player can look at. Okay. So to make an item in Minecraft, you have to make an item stack. Okay. That's the name of the class. Okay. So item stack. And then we'll give it a name, so item 1, I'll just call it that, you can call it whatever you want, obviously, is equal to new item stack, okay, so that's going to be a new item stack object, and so what you want to put in here, if you control P, the parameter once is a material type, okay? So that basically is the material of the block that you want, okay, the item that you want, so basically it's just item, okay, so material, you can do like this, material, and then you can select any of the materials from Minecraft, okay, it's a lot, and so you can choose any of them, okay, so let's just choose something random here, we'll choose clay ball, and then if you want to, you can choose how many, if you control P to see the parameters, you can choose the amount, okay, so I'm going to choose 2, so 2 clay balls, okay, so that's going to set 2 clay balls equal to the item stack, item 1, I just realized we're in the wrong class, wow, that's sad, oops, so we'll cut this here, and we'll go back to here, and then we're going to put it right here, and there we go, so it'll import all that for us. And so yeah, how do we put this item inside of this inventory or vault, right? Well, we can do that by doing vault, the inventory dot set item. And so as you can see here, it wants 2 parameters, okay? First it wants the index, okay? So that means what slot do you want to put the item in? So it's 0 based, so it's like an array basically, so it starts at 0. So if you want to put in the first slot, you put 0, okay? If you want to put in the third slot, you put 2. 0, 1, 2, yeah, 2. And so let's try that out. So 2, and then next is going to be the item stack itself, okay? So now we put the item here, so item 1. And so what that will do is set the value of this 2 clay balls equal to, we'll put the 2 clay balls in the slot, basically, that's all it's going to do, okay? So yeah, let's try that out, and I'll be right back. Okay, let's slash reload to load the plugin in. Okay, now it's done, so let's do slash vaults. And as you can see here, it has the 2 clay balls that we put into the third slot. So it works perfectly, right? And we can move it around, take it into our inventory, and do whatever you want. So it's really cool, right? So that's how you do that. You can set an item in a specific slot. We can just keep this one here. We'll keep that in the second slot. But let's say we want to put another one of these 2 clay balls into our inventory, right? We can do that. So vaults dot, and then there's another method we can use to add item. It's called add item, okay? So that only takes one parameter. It's just going to be the item stack. So item 1, okay? And so what that's going to do is just take that item and then put it in the next available slot. So in this case, it'll probably just be the first slot because it's empty, right? The only slot that's filled is going to be the third slot, right? So let's try that out. Okay, so let's do slash vaults. Boom, and now we get 4 clay items. Okay, that's interesting. It's stacking for some reason, okay, instead of putting it separately. Okay, anyway, so that's just an example of how to use that. I guess if you had another item, it would probably just put it in the first slot, because it doesn't stack on 2 clay, right? So that's just an example of how to use those 2 methods. That's how you add any item to your inventory, okay? But let's say you want to clear your 4 clay items. Okay, that's interesting. It's stacking, right? The only slot that's filled is going to be the third slot, right? So let's try that out. Okay, so let's do item, and then there's another method we could use to add item. It's called add item, okay? So that only takes one parameter. It's just going to be the item stack. So item 1, okay? And so what that's going to do is just take that item and then put it in the next available slot. So in this case, it'll probably just be the first slot because it's empty, right? The only slot that's filled is going to be the third slot, right? So let's try that out. Okay, so let's do slash vaults. Boom, and now we get 4 clay items. Okay, that's interesting. It's stacking for some reason, okay, instead of putting it separately. Okay, anyway, so that's just an example of how to use that to your inventory, right? Very, very simple. So let's say you want to add multiple items at once, okay, like a full maybe inventory, right? We could do that with an item stack array, okay? So that's going to basically be an array of item stacks, right? So multiple items in an array, okay? So let's make one of those item stack, and then the array sign, and we give a name of items because more than one. And then inside of here we can put all the items that we want to put in here. So item 1, and then we can put another item in here if we want. So let's go ahead and make one. Item stack. We'll put 3 beef, just keep it unique, and then we'll put in the second item into this array. So now we have an array here of item stacks, okay? So basically 2 items in 1 variable, okay? So now if we want to put all of these at once inside of this inventory here, we can do that. So it'd be vault dot set contents, and that's how you set an item stack array, as you can see here, as the parameter to the contents of the inventory, okay? So the thing is, so anyway, let's just test that out. So 3 beef, and then we set the contents of that inventory to these 2 items, to replace anything we put up here, because it's second contents, so it replaces everything. So put it in there, and then as you can see here, it did that. Anyway, so basically we were able to set the contents of an item stack array, okay? So that's how you send multiple items into the array. But one more thing we can do with the item stack array. So if we go ahead and make one here first, item stack items 2 is equal to, basically what we can do is take the whole inventory and then set it equal to a variable, okay? So we can get the contents of the inventory and then set it to that item stack array. So maybe if we want to save the value of the inventory for later use or something like that, so we can do that. So we can do vault.get contents. Oh, and as you can see, if you do get contents on the right side, it says the return type, so it's going to give you an item stack array. Or you can do get storage contents, set equal to items 2, and that's how you do that, right? So that's how you do any of that. That's basically it for setting the contents of an inventory, creating an inventory, basic stuff like that. If you want to see more inventory stuff, you can just do vault.set. You can set some other details. Nothing really that extensive. I pretty much covered anything and everything. But in case you're interested in everything that you can do with the inventories and stuff like that, I'll give you this link here to the documentation. One second, let me open it here. And as you can see here, you can get a description of inventory class open here, and it gives you everything you can do with the inventory class. Okay, so as you can see here, we can get the title of the inventory, and it tells you exactly what it does, and you can get a description of all the methods and a list of all the methods if you're interested. Okay, so that's how you do that. And so that's basically everything with inventories, right? So now I'm going to cover everything about items, right? So let's say you want to put custom items or make your items really cool, right? Or spice up your items. Okay, so we can do that. Just get rid of this stuff here, delete that. Let's say we want to customize this item here. We can do that. We can do item 1 dot and then we can set a bunch of data. So let's say we want to give it an enchantment. We can actually do that. So add unsafe enchantment if you want to add an enchantment with an unlimited level power. So you want to put the enchantment here, so enchantment, and then you can choose any enchantment in the game. So pretty cool, right? So if you want to set arrow knockback to these 2 clay balls, you can do that. And then of course the second parameter is going to be the level of the enchantment. So we can put 1000 if we want to because it's an unsafe enchantment. Okay, so that's how you add enchantments to your items. But one other main important thing we can do is add metadata to your item. So item dot set item meta. Okay, and so metadata, if you don't know in programming, it's basically so think of an image, right? An image is an image, right? It's a picture, right? And along with the picture, you have a bunch of data, right? Like what type is the picture? Is it JPG? Is it PNG? So in this case, also the item is an object, right? We can set a bunch of set the item metadata. You have to get the item metadata. Okay, so that's going to return, as you can see here, the item meta, which is going to be your metadata. Then now once we have that as an object, we can do meta, and then we can set a bunch of data for the meta. Okay, so one of the main things that we can do is set the title maybe of the item. So set the display name, same thing. So set display name, and we also set some other stuff. So and then of course we can set take a parameter. It's going to be a collection. So if you want to add some so check array, let's say we do that. So we'll do okay, so it's going to give the item all the if we go back here, we can see that we actually never added the item to our inventory because we deleted that line. So that's stupid of me, but let's go and add the item. So vault.add item. and we'll say item 1, and then do we need another parameter? Nope, you don't. This is just add item. Okay, so it's gonna add that item. Okay, so restarting again, pointing to my screen, but you can't see it. But just imagine I'm pointing at it. So as you can see, the title is aqua color and it's item name. That's exactly what we set it to right here. So that's how we set that. And then also, let's go back here. We set the enchantment here. So it says punish enchantment level 1000. We also set that, as you remember. And then unbreakable at the bottom too, because we set unbreakable equal to true. Awesome. And then finally we have the lore here, right? So the lore, if you look here, is going to be some lore and then some more lore, as you can see here, and they're colored. So it's basically just, you know, like I said, extra strings under the items, maybe some description or something of the item itself. Okay. So yeah, that's how you set some data for the item. We can take the item if we want to. Pretty cool, right? So yeah, that's how we do any of that. We can set, you know, the data of the item. We can set the name of the item, give it any features that we want to give it. Okay. So I hope you enjoyed that. Basically, we've covered everything we can learn about items and inventories. I mean, all the basics at least. You know, of course, we're going to cover some more extensive stuff in the future. So yeah, you should be equipped to make some cool plugins now. Of course, ask in the comment section. I'll be glad to help you. It's going to give a description for everything we did. You know, so you might want to save this for future reference in case you forget how to do all this, because I even forget how to do some of this sometimes. So it's good to have a reference. So make sure you save that if you want to.
¿Eh?
¿Alguien sigue vivo aquí en Discord?
No, yo me morí.
Hey, what's up, guys? Back again with another video in the Spigot series. This
Ahora
time,
me
I'm gonna make a
postulo
flag plugin.
para owner.
Ujú.
Voy a quedar ciego. Voy a quedar ciego.
Alright guys, so now that we know how to work with the main features of Spigot development, you know, like everything I've taught you basically, like configuration, permissions, events, commands, anything like that, we pretty much have all the fundamentals we need to start making plugins, okay? And along the way, we're going to learn some more stuff like, you know, teleportation, inventory systems, and stuff. Well, we already learned that last episode, but just more about that kind of stuff and, you know, small details like that. Even music, we can play like sounds and stuff like that. So we'll be learning that along the way as we make more plugins, okay? So that's why you can start making these plugins with me, like code along with me, because you can start gaining experience. So the only way to gain experience is actually by making these plugins. Even if you think you understand how to make these plugins, it's still good to work with them, because along the way, if one day you think you can make a plugin, you may come across a small little problem that you never found before and you may get stuck. So it's good to work with as many plugins as possible, so you can work through all the problems and get all the experience you need to not run into any problems like that, okay? So experience, that's what it's all about. So we're just going to start making stuff, okay? If you have any ideas for some plugins, just go ahead and let me know in the comment section, or you can hang out with us in the Discord server and tell us what you think, and maybe provide some suggestions, whatever you want to do. It's in the description. So anyway, let's go ahead and make a new plugin here. And like I said, it's going to be a fly plugin, so it's going to allow the user to fly around and stuff like that, okay? So yeah, let's try that out. So me, got Illuminati Productions. And that's my name. Well, I'm going to change this to 1.0. That's snapshot. And then let's see, let's get the description, fly, with style, authors, Illuminati, website, https, youtube.com. There we go. Some basic information here. And then we'll call that fly plugin. Let me change the file location here. Java. Okay. Spigot development. Fly plugin. Alright, cool. So let's go and create this.
Recién me envías las imágenes.
Auto enable
Men, estoy re lejísimo. Te dije
So
que
the first thing
hiciera
we want to do, of
zoom.
course, is open this up, and we want to make a new package here, okay? And we want the package to be our command package, so commands, and this package is going to hold all of our commands for, you know, this plugin that we're about to make. Okay, so let's create a command here. Let's call it fly command. Inside of fly command, we want to give it or implement the command executor interface, so that we
No sé qué se puede hacer esto. Bueno.
we can enable command making stuff and all that. So we can use this method right here. So we're going to do return true, because that's, you know, the proper way of doing it. Before I return false, we're doing return true, because that's better. So now that we have that, we can
La
register this
miniatura
command.
está quedando más fea que
And we'll call it just fly, and use that fly.
Muy
So
mal.
executor will be the name of the class, so if we open this up, we can see fly command. So new fly command. Oops, new fly command. Alright, so let's try this out, okay? So what they want to do is be able to type /fly and then allow the person to fly, right? So
Modo
let's try that out. So first thing
ingenioso,
we
modo
want to do is check and
ingenioso
see
activado.
if the player is a player. So if sender instance of player. So we don't want the console to fly, of
Modo
course, that doesn't even make sense. So that's why
ingenioso
we're checking for that.
activate.
And also what we want to do is see if they have a certain permission. Okay, so if player, well, we need to create a player. So player equals player casted to sender. There we go. So we can do if player dot has permission, and then we can make a permission here. So we'll just do fly plugin, or just do fly plugin dot fly. So if they have the permission fly plugin dot fly, then they can execute whatever is inside of here. So the first thing we want to do is make it so they can fly, right? So to do that, we can do player dot set allow flight. And what that's going to do is allow them to fly, of course. It's pretty simple, right? So true, and that's going to allow them to fly. Let's go ahead and send them a message. So player.send message, you
podría
can
ser
now
eso.
fly. Be free. Let's make it blue, because blue is a kind of fly color. It's like the color of the sky, I guess. Anyway, so that should work if they do /fly, right? And it should enable them to fly. So let's go ahead and, let's see. Well, actually, before we compile this, we need to make our plugin.yml setup. So commands, fly, description, and we made the command. We can go ahead and just compile it, and I'm going to put it in the server, and I'll be right back. Alright, so I'm in the server now, so let's do /reload to reload my console, because I just put the plugin inside of the folder. So now we can do /fly. Oh, let's clear it. Alright, so I'm in the server now, so let's do /reload to reload my console, because I just put the plugin inside of the
¿Qué hace
folder.
Mati
So now
acá
we
en
can
su
do /fly.
parcela?
Oh, let's clear inventory. Let's just kill ourselves.
Bueno, no en su parcela. ¿Qué hacen parcelas, Mati?
Now it's loading. Come on, buddy. Alright, so let's go ahead and try the command. So /fly, and then it says you
Mati,
can now fly,
¿qué
be
haces
free.
acá?
Also,
Guacho.
actually, we're in creative, so we should probably get out of creative. So game mode, survival. Okay, and now let's do /fly. You can now fly, be free. And as you can see here, we can fly, right? So let's do /fly again and see what happens. Nothing happens, okay? And we need to enable something that allows the user to toggle fly off and on, right? Because if they turn the fly on and they can fly, which is all cool, how can they turn it off, right? What if they don't want to fly anymore? So we want to make it so it's toggleable, okay? And so the way to toggle
Mati,
stuff
Mati,
is usually
Mati,
with an
vení,
array
vení,
list.
vení,
And an array list is,
vení,
hopefully you
vení.
know what that is, but it's a type of collection. So what we want to do is basically store every player that is currently flying in an array list, right? And then what we can do is check they don't want to fly anymore. So we want to make it so it's toggleable, okay? And so the way to toggle stuff is usually with an array list. Fly again. Nothing happens, okay? And we need to enable something that allows the user to toggle fly off and on, right? Because if they turn the fly on and they can fly, which is all cool, how can they turn it off, right? What if they don't want to fly anymore? So that we want to make it so it's toggleable, okay? And so the way to toggle stuff is usually with an array list. And an array list is hopefully you know what that is, but it's a type of collection. So what we want to do is basically store every player that is currently flying in an array list, right? And then what we can do is check and see when they type the fly command. We can see if they're in that list, then remove them from the list of the flying list, and then make them not fly anymore, right? But if they're not on the list, we can go ahead and add them to the list and then make them fly, right? So the list will enable us to track and see who is flying currently, alright? So that's pretty cool. I hope you understand that. So let's go ahead and try doing that. So what we want to do is go up here to the very top and then create a new array list. So we'll make it private so we can only access it in this class. So array list, and then it's going to be a list of players. So player, that's the data type. It's a generic thing. If you don't know anything about generics or anything like that, you can go ahead and watch my Java series. I have a huge series on Java where you can learn pretty much anything about Java. Not everything, but I'm still working on it. But anyway, so now we're going to give it a name. So list of flying players, because this will contain a list that we can track players with, equals new array list. That's pretty simple stuff, right? So what this is going to do is create the list of players, of course. And now what we want to do here is check and see if list of flying players contains player, so that means that the list has the player inside of it. Then you want to do something like this: player.set allow flight to false, because if they're flying, if they're in the list, that means they're flying, right? So we want to make it so they can't fly, so we'll make it false, right? So then we want to send them a message: let's make it blue first. You cannot fly anymore. Alright, so pretty simple. And then now what we're going to do is make a else if. I'm pretty sure you can just do an else just to be safe, though. We're going to use else if so we can check and see explicitly if they're on the list or not. So list of flying players contains player, and what we're going to do is put a exclamation point in front, so that would make it opposite. So if they are not on the list, then go ahead and execute what's inside of here, right? So then it's going to set allow flight to true because they're not on the list, and then it's going to make them fly. But one thing we forgot, that's going to be fine, that's going to work, right? But one thing we forgot is to make it so we actually remove and add them from the list. So if they're not on the list right here, we want to add them to the list of player dot, or no, actually,
A ver, sorpréndeme.
list of flying players.
Waifus. Que llame la atención, que llame la
Add,
atención.
and then we just plug in players just like that.
Sí,
So put the
señor.
player's name into that list, array list.
Funciona,
And so the
funciona.
next thing we want to do for here is the same thing pretty much. So list of flying players dot remove a player, just like that, okay? So that's going to remove another player at the same time as they're making them fly and not fly, okay? So that's pretty cool, right? Pretty advanced stuff. We were, we're actually making a command that can toggle itself now. So let's try this out. Alright, so I reloaded the plugin, so let's try it out. /fly, and now it says you can fly, be free. Now let's do it again. And now it says you cannot fly anymore, and then I fell from the sky because I can't fly anymore. So now hopefully you understand how to toggle commands in case you were wondering how to do that. So that's pretty cool. And yeah, so let's add another feature where they can make other players fly if they want to, right? So in that case, we have to check and see if there's arguments or not, because they want to provide the player's name as an argument, of course, when they're executing command. So where do we want to put this? We want to put this in front of here. Yeah, we'll put it right here. So we'll cut this, and then we'll do if. We'll do args.length is equal to 0. So if there are no arguments, then go ahead and execute what we just did here. So that just means that we're executing the command on ourselves. And so else. We'll do else if just to make sure. So else if args.length is equal to 1. So if there's one argument, assuming they're going to use the player name, then go ahead and execute this right here. Player target, so the target player, if they're targeting someone, is equal to bucket.get player, and then we can just provide the string name from this argument. Okay, so args. There we go. So that's what that will do. And args is actually an array, of course, so we need to specify 0 just like that. So it's going to take the first argument, assuming there's a length of 1, and then set it equal to target. And then now we can manipulate target accordingly. So we can just copy this pretty much if we want to do that. Let's see here. Yeah, we can do that. So we can copy target, throw it in there, and that's duplicate code. We don't want to duplicate code. So now that it's duplicated here, as you can see, what we should probably do is just make it into a method, okay? So let's try that out. Let's copy this here because it's duplicate code, and then we'll go ahead and make a method down here. So let's call it private, and there's a length of else if just to make sure. So else if args.length is equal to 1. So if there's one.
¿Cuándo falta para el run, loco?
Falta falta, Peri? ¿Cuánto falta?
¿Lo ves, no, Juan? ...24 horas. Es que claro, lo matamos ayer a estas horas. Que estábamos todos.
Mentira, lo matamos.
Perdón, pero si esta cogí yo la recompensa y te la di. ¿Ves? Lo podrías haber grabado.
¿Qué?
Que lo podrías haber grabado, el Ragnarok, y así tenías más contenido. De eso que en tu canal no hay.
Más de 6 minutos. Más de 6 minutos.
An argument of assuming they're going to use the player name, then go ahead and execute this right here. Player target, so the target player, if they're targeting someone, is equal to bucket dot get player, and then we can just provide the string name from this argument. Okay, so args, there we go. So that's what that will do. And args is actually an array, of course, so we need to specify 0 just like that. So it's going to take the first argument, assuming there's a length of 1, and then set it equal to target, and then now we can manipulate target accordingly. So we can just copy this pretty much if we want to do that. Let's see here. Yeah, we can do that. So we can copy target, throw it in there, and that's duplicate code. We don't want to duplicate code. So now that it's duplicated here, as you can see, what we should probably do is just make it into a method, okay? So let's try that out. Let's copy this here because it's duplicate code, and then we'll go ahead and make a method down here. So let's call it private, and it's going to return nothing, so void, and then we'll call it fly method, and it's going to be all this code here. So inside of here, as you can see, it has an error because player, there is no player variable here, so we can pass the player as a parameter here now. So we can go up here and just remove this, and then fly method, and then we can just pass in target. So now it's going to make the target fly, check their name, and everything like that for us. And likewise, we can do it up here too, but instead of target, we're going to use player because we're doing it on the player themselves, right? That's going to do all that for us in a more simplified manner because we only have 2 lines of code here now that are pretty much the same thing here, and we used a method instead. So it's pretty cool. So anyway, let's just go and test this out, make sure it works. So now, hopefully, if we did this correctly, it should be able to target players now, make them fly and not fly, okay? Alright, so let's try this out. So we can do fly, and as you can see, I can fly, and now let's do fly, and now I can't fly. Now there's not another player on the server, so I'll just do it on myself. So fly Illuminati, and then it says you cannot fly, be free, and then I'll do fly Illuminati again, and now it says you cannot fly anymore. So it works perfectly, right? So we're pretty much almost done here, so let's just make some minor modifications to our plugin to make it even more awesome. And let's just add this thing here so we can make it so that they can only affect other players if they have a certain permission. So if player dot has permission, because they're the one executing the command, of course, not the target. So if player has permission, fly bucket dot others, so then they can go ahead and do all this crap here. And everything else, if they don't have all that permission, we could say player.sendMessage, you do not have permission to make other players fly. Pretty cool. So let's see here. So that's all dandy, right? It's all good. And so what we want to probably change now is add some more configuration. So maybe the person who's using the plugin can edit the messages that are sent here. Maybe right here, you can now fly, be free. Maybe we can make it so they can edit that, right? So the way we would do that is with the config.yml, of course. So they can specify, custom stuff like that. So config.yml, and we're going to give it some custom configuration. So the first one we'll do is the on message. So whenever they are able to fly, whenever it's toggled on, then we can say all of this. So we're going to make a custom message here, and you can use the and, at, color symbols. So at 2, let's see, Illuminati fly. I'll just call it that. Illuminati fly 8 for this first. So what we want to probably change.
Yo no estoy entendiendo.
Now is add some more configuration. So maybe the person who's using the plugin can edit the messages that are sent here. Maybe right here, you can now fly, be free. Maybe we can make it so they can edit that, right? So the way we would do that is with the config.yml, of course. So they can specify, custom stuff like that. So config.yml, and we're going to give it some custom configuration. So the first one we'll do is the on message. So whenever they are able to fly, whenever it's toggled on, then we can say all of this. So we're going to make a custom message here, and you can use the and, at, color symbols. So at 2, let's see, Illuminati fly. I'll just call it that. Illuminati fly 8, just like that. And we'll give it an E right here, and then we could say you can, or we'll use B for this one, you can fly now, be free. Okay, that's a custom message. Then we'll have an off message for whenever they toggle fly off. So we'll just go and copy this right here. Then we'll say you can no longer fly. Pretty simple stuff. So then we'll go back here to our fly command. And so how do we hook this config, these 2 config variables into our program, right? So the way we do that is actually with a special kind of constructor we can use. So basically what I'm trying to say is we have to get a variable reference of our main class here, because with our main class we're going to be able to access our configuration file, right? So first, before we do any of that, let's go ahead and register our configuration in our main config class here. So get config, get config.options.copy default. So that's going to go ahead and load our config for us and stuff like that. And then we'll do save not that one, save default config, just like that. So that's going to load our configuration for us. And so now, like I said, we want a variable reference of the main class here. So then we can just make one up here if we want to. So we'll make it private. So private, and we need the name of the class, so fly command or fly plugin, and then we'll just call the variable plugin. So that's how we do that. But as you can see here, it's not equal to anything, right? So we can't actually exactly use it yet. So what we need to do is initialize this basically. So we can do that with a special little what's called a constructor for this class here. So we can do code generate and then click constructor, and it's going to automatically do that for us. So we just click the first one here. And then now what it's going to do is make a constructor for this class here. So whenever we use this class or construct it, it's going to take the main class as a parameter, and then it's going to take that main class and equal it to this plugin here. So now what this will do whenever we construct this class here is set plugin here equal to the main class. Okay. There's one more thing we need to do is actually use that constructor here, but we can error here as you can see because we're calling upon the constructor of our class here, right? And as you can see here, the only variable option that we have here is a parameter. There's no overridden methods here, so we have to provide this parameter. So basically, just put this in here. That's all you need to do. If you don't understand my explanation, maybe you need to go over how classes work and all that fun stuff. But this is a pretty simple concept. Okay, so this is all you need to do to the class save default config, just like that. So that's going to load our configuration for us. And so now, like I said, we want a variable reference of the main class here. So then we can just make one up here if we want to. So we'll make it private. So private, and we need the name of the class. So fly command or fly plugin, and then we'll just call the variable plugin. So that's how we do that. But as you can see here, it's not equal to anything, right? So we can't actually exactly use it yet. So what we need to do is initialize.
Aquí pierdo un poco.
Ha vuelto el admin. Ahora que me pongo a preguntar de qué color eran las letras de lo que hice el otro. ¿Qué color era? Ah, sí. Ya me olvidé de qué color hice las letras del anterior video, ¿eh? A ver. Ok.
No lo quería cerrar.
This basically, so we can do that with a special little what's called a constructor for this class here. So we can do code generate and then click constructor, and it's going to automatically do that for us. So we just click the first one here, and then now what it's going to do is make a constructor.
No me convence la miniatura y no sé por qué.
Automatic here. So we can do code generate. And then click constructor, and it's going to automatically do that for us. So we just click the first one here, and then now what it's going to do is make a constructor for this class here. So whenever we use this class or construct it, it's going to take the constructor, automatically do that for us. So we just click the first one here, And then now what it's going to do is make a constructor for this class here. So whenever we use this class or construct it, it's going to take the main class as a parameter, and then it's going to take that main class and equal it to this plugin here. So now what this will do whenever we construct this class here is set plugin here equal to the main class. Okay. There's one more thing we need to do is actually
¿Qué?
set plugin here equal to the main class. Okay. Whenever we construct this class here is set plugin here equal to the main class. Okay. There's one more thing we need to do is actually use that constructor here, but we can error here as you can see because we're calling upon the constructor of our class here, right? And as you can see here, the only variable option that we have here is a parameter. There's no overriding methods here, so we have to provide this parameter. So basically just put this in here. That's all you need to do. If you don't understand my explanation, maybe you need to go over how classes work and all that fun stuff. But this is a pretty simple concept, okay? So this is all you need to do to enable configuration inside of your plugins, okay? So once we do that, we can now do some stuff to access the configuration. So, because now plugin is equal to the main class here. So let me show you. So we can do plugin.getConfig. Oh no, we can't do it inside of here. We'll do it out here. Right here. Let's just delete all of this. So we can do plugin.getConfig, and then we can get the different variables and stuff like that from our configuration file. So that's gonna be pretty cool. So let's try that out. So plugin.getConfiguration.getConfig.getString, and then the first one is called onMessage, of course. So this is going to be the message that is sent whenever it's toggled on, and then likewise we should do it for this one too, but for off, right? So off message. So that should take the configuration values and then put them in here. Just plug them in like that, and that should work. Okay. All right. So it's reloaded. So let's try it out, of course. So fly, and then it says you can no longer fly. But as you can see here, it didn't actually load the colors, right? It didn't even like translate the colors into actual colors. It's still the and sign and 3 and all those numbers and all that. So how do we get it to convert the colors to actually display the chat in color? So we can do that if we go back here. We can cut this here, so we can save it, Control X to cut it, and then what we want to do is translate the and sign. Okay, so chat color dot translate alternate color codes, and the first parameter is going to be the char, or the symbol that you use to represent color. And in this case, so you're going to put a single quote, by the way. In this case, you're going to use an ampersand, the and sign, right? And then the next is going to be the actual thing that you're going to translate, so the message, so we can just Control V to paste that. So that's how you do that. You do chat color dot translate alternate color codes, and likewise we're going to do it for here too. So we'll just go ahead and we'll just cut this here. So chat color dot translate alternate color codes, and sign, then paste, just like that, and that should fix that for us. So that should be good. So let's go ahead and run this here. Alright, reloading, and we'll do /fly, and as you can see here, we have the you can no longer fly message sent at the bottom. There's a little glitch here. I might have typed something wrong. It looks right here. Yeah, I put a star by accident. So yeah, but anyway, as you can see, it actually works now. So we can do /fly to toggle it off, and now it says you can be, or no, it was already off, so we can toggle it on, and then it says you can now fly, be free. So that's pretty cool, right, guys? Hopefully you like that. Here, so then we can just make one fly 8, just like that. So if player has permission, fly plugin dot others, then they can go ahead and do all 2. So then first before and stuff like that. So we can do code generate and then click constructor, and it's gonna automatically do that for us. So we just click the first one here, and then now what it's gonna do is make a constructor for this class here. So whenever we use this class or construct it, it's going to take the main class as a parameter, and then it's going to take that main class and equal it to this plugin here. So now what this will do whenever we construct this class here is set plugin here equal to the main class. Okay. There's one more thing we need to do is actually use that constructor here, but we can error here as you can see because we're calling upon the constructor of our class here, right? And as you can see here, the only variable option that we have here is a parameter. There's no overriding methods here, so we have to provide this parameter. So basically just put this in here. That's all you need to do. If you don't understand my explanation, maybe you need to go over how classes work and all that fun stuff. But this is a pretty simple concept, okay? So this is all you need to do to enable configuration inside of your plugins, okay? So once we do that, we can now do some stuff to access the configuration, because now plugin is equal to the main class here. So let me show you. So we can do plugin.getConfig. Oh no, we can't do it inside of here. We'll do it out here. Right here.
O menos encontré el video. Menos mal. A ver. Seleccionar archivo. El título del video, ¿cuál iba a ser? Pirito, devuélveme el rango, por favor. Le voy a poner el título.
Ajá.
Power up a new
Buah,
Voy a ponerle un
te dormiste.
server for you and your friends with Shopbyte hosting. We give you the
Hello and welcome back.
No, no,
My
hold
name
on,
is
hold on.
Amulya and you are watching Tube from Microsoft Windows 10. So this is Eclipse IDE. You can see it. I'm going to close it. Let's see which one works. See a program page feature here. So what it is installed. Users where your Microsoft part. Okay. So I'm going to see we have another. Simply delete it. See, this was the Eclipse was installed for folder as well permanently. This is going to take some new system and will delete the shortcut, and this has been deleted. So this is
La información ahora de la guarida, Steve. ¿Dónde encuentro eso?
¿Lo qué?
De... en información. Voy a ver información. A ver. ¿Dónde está? Mapa. Horario, estadísticas. Este es la IP. IP. Discord. ¿Está el Discord aquí? Ah, sí. ¿En qué versión estamos de Minecraft? 1.16. ¿Cuánto?
Estoy dormidísimo. 1.16.3.
Ya. A ver, puse la IP, puse el Discord y puse nada más. Algo más que tenga que poner o nada más, creo.
No.
Ahora termina la miniatura. Pro. Que al final lo voy a terminar dejando así. No, no. Oh, no. Me acabo de joder el dedo.
Overridden methods here, so we have to provide this parameter. So we can error here, as you can see, because and as you can see here, the only variable option that we have here is a parameter. There's no overridden methods here, so we have to provide this parameter. So basically, just put this in here. That's all you need to do. If you don't understand my explanation, maybe you need to go over how classes work and all that fun stuff. But this is a pretty simple concept, okay? So this is all you need to do to enable configuration inside of your plugins, okay? So once we do that, we can now do some stuff to access the configuration, because now plugin is equal to the main class here. So let me show you. So we can do plugin.getConfig. We can't do it inside of here. We'll do it out here. Right here. Let's just delete all this. So we can do plugin.getConfig, and then we can get the different variables and stuff like that from our configuration file. So it's gonna be pretty cool. So let's try that out. So plugin.getConfiguration.getConfig.getString, and then the first one's called onMessage, of course. So this is going to be the message that is sent whenever it's toggled on, and then likewise we should do it for this one too, but for off, right? So off message. So that should take the configuration values and then put them in here, just plug them in like that, and that should work, okay? Alright, so it's reloaded, so let's try it out, of course. So fly, and then it says you can no longer fly. But as you can see here, it didn't actually load the colors, right? It didn't even translate the colors into actual colors. It's still the and sign and 3 and all those numbers and all that. So how do we get it to convert the colors to actually display the chat in color? So we can do that if we go back here. We can cut this here, so we can save it, Control X to cut it. And then what we want to do is translate the and sign, okay? So chat color dot translate alternate color codes, and the first parameter is going to be the char, or the symbol that you use to represent color. And in this case, you're going to put a single quote, by the way. In this case, you're going to use an ampersand, the and sign, right? And then the next is going to be the actual thing that you're going to translate, so the message, so we can just Control V to paste it. So that's how you do that. You do chat color dot translate alternate color codes. And okay, so chat color dot translate alternate color codes, and the first parameter is going to be the char, or the symbol that you use to represent color. And in this case, you're going to put a single quote, by the way. In this case, you're going to use an ampersand, the and sign, right? And then the next is going to be the actual thing that you're going to translate, so the message, so we can just Control V to paste that. So that's how you do that. You do chat color dot translate alternate color codes, and likewise we're going to do it for here too. So we'll just go ahead and we'll just cut this here. So chat color dot translate alternate color codes, and sign, then paste, just like that, and that should fix that for us. So that should be good. So let's go ahead and run this here. All right, reloading, and we'll do /fly, and as you can see here, we have the note you can no longer fly message sent at the bottom. There's a little glitch here. I might have typed something wrong. Looks, yeah, right here. Yeah. I didn't put a star by accident. So yeah, but anyway, as you can see, it actually works now. So we can do /fly to toggle it off, and now it says you can be, or no, it was already off, so we can toggle it on. And then it says you can now fly be free. So that's pretty cool, right, guys? Hopefully you like that. So we pretty much made it. You know, so far it's the most complex plugin we've made so far. It's pretty simple in terms of anything we can make, but it's pretty complex, you know, considering how new you are to plugin development, I'm assuming. So anyway, this was a good accomplishment. Hopefully you like this. If you have any questions about what we did, assuming maybe you ran into some problems or any questions you might have, you can ask in the comment section below. Or if you want to join our Discord, you could join our Discord, hang out with us, ask questions, whatever you want to do. So make sure you do any of that. The link is in the description for you if you want to check it out. And also, finally, we have a code link here in the description also, where you can check all of the code from today's episode. So make sure you check it out in the description also, okay? So anyway, if you like this video, leave a like. If you want to see more, subscribe, and peace.
Bueno.
Espíritu se va a dormir.